come in there. He might have been between that 22 to 24 age group. Very handsome, very, very handsome. So I believe he's might have just been coming back from college or graduating or whatever the case may be, because they were happy to see him when he came in. So he sits down, and so they're just talking, what's going on. And he's giving an update. He's graduated, he's got an engineering degree. Oh my God, I'm over there on the proudness. I'm in the background. I don't know him. I'm just kind of sitting down, listening to what he's saying. So the barber begins to get filled in on him. What's been going on? This thing and that. He says, I'm coming back. I'm getting married. So everybody, like, great. And I'm so on the side being so nosy and over there like a proud auntie. I don't even know this young man, right? So they start to kind of converse amongst each other, and they're talking. And so the young man says, yeah, I'm having a little problem. It's a lot going on because I'm marrying a white woman. And my family, they're not too happy about it. So the barber and everybody was like, oh, well, to each his own and this, that, and the other. So the barber was just kind of speaking to him, and he said, hey, where'd you meet her? And he said, oh, I met her in college. And he was like, oh, okay, because, back in the day, you had all the girls. What made you decide that she was the one? Like, what made you want to marry the white girl or the white woman? No disrespect. So what this young man said after that is what just literally took me out the game. As a black woman, as a black mom, in general. So he says that, he come from, of course, the hood and had a hard knock life, just with one mom and no dad, and that same shit. Like, don't nobody I hate the fact that is such a stereotype. We hate it too.
Hey everyone, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. Today's topic is a topic that I have discussed before, and that is black men who choose white women as spouses. And so the reason why I'm just showing the audio of this video, just in case I decide to post it on TikTok. TikTok, I think, is going to get serious about, copyright infringement. So I will make sure that I leave the original content in the description box, her name and all of that. But so at one point, in her video, she took it as a personal attack that this young black male coming home from college chose to pick a white woman as a wife. And when he was asked the reason why, he said that she brought him peace. And that goes back to a video I did a few weeks ago with Bootsy. I knew he was full of crap because he asked the question, why are, more black men picking white women? And I made the comment about, you mean to tell me he's never sat in a barber shop and heard men say the reason why? This is the whole woman who was in a barber shop, and she heard the reason why. So, but anyway, that's besides the point. So instead of so many women taking, learning from this and taking heed, they take it as a personal attack. More black men prefer black women, whether y'all believe it or not. So I don't know why y'all concentrate on the ones who say, you know what, I love black women, I love my mother, because that's another thing. You hate your mother, you hate black women, when most of them don't. They just don't want to deal with perhaps the dysfunctional household that they grew up in, And let's be honest, for a lot of single mother-run homes, there's a lot of dysfunction there. There's a lot of, no structure. All that goes along with that. And the Officer Tatum spoke on this very situation. He's married to a white woman. And he said another reason is because for culture, taking this young man as an example, and I have no idea who he is, but let's say he grew up in the hood where more than 50% of his neighbors, family members, and all of that stuff were single mothers and all that goes along with it. Suddenly he goes off to college and he meets Heather. Don't I do that a lot? he meets Heather, and she grew up with her mom and her dad, not her mom and mom's new boyfriend or baby daddy or stepfather. And in a lot of cases, it could be a stepfather. But I'm willing to bet it's both of her biological parents. That makes a huge difference. And as I've said in other videos, I said, consider this. If more black children were growing up and seeing their mom and dad married and having a life together with struggles and good times and bad times, but they still stuck it out, it makes a huge difference, young children seeing their parents together. And our community is too fractured to come together. And so that's why these interracial topics keeps throwing people for a loop, because it's not that serious. It really isn't. But I just feel like more black women really need to be listening to what these men are saying and then start to raise their daughters. Let me tell you something. I work in a predominantly black setting, and those black women have black men wrapped around their fingers. So all of this, black men don't want black women, I mostly see it online because I don't see it in real life. But it does lead me to question, why aren't these black women turning these males who they have wrapped around their fingers into husbands? And one reason they're not is because many of these women already have children with other men, and the men who they have wrapped around their fingers have children with other women, and it makes it hard to come together. Because, in marriage, not to mention a lot of these women aren't even raising their children towards marriage. But I bet you Heather's parents raised her towards marriage, which is why she got chosen as a wife. Start considering those things instead of being, hurt about it. Learn from this. That's my opinion and my topic for today.